Hello, future engineers, subscribers, viewers, and students. Here is a video presenting the solutions to sample problems in Algebra 6. So here we go. This is the first problem. A tank is filled with two pipes. The first pipe can fill the tank in 10 hours, but after it has been opened for 3 1/3 hours, the second pipe is opened and the tank is filled up in 4 more hours. How long would it take the second pipe alone to fill the tank? So the two pipes have different diameters. So we will call the time x for the second pipe to fill the tank alone, and its rate would be 1 over x. So this is the situation. The rate of the first pipe is 1 over 10 because it will take 10 hours for it to fill the tank. So the rate of the first pipe is 1 over 10. The working hours of the first pipe, take note, it is opened for 3 1/3 hours or 10/3 hours. Yeah. Then the second pipe is open. So the total uh, working time of the first pipe would be 3 1/3 or 10/3 plus 4 hours, because when the second pipe is open, the tank is filled in 4 more hours. So this is the total time that the first pipe uh, was open. Then for the second pipe, that is the rate, and it is only open for 4 hours. So that's why we equate it to one complete job, because the tank is full. So simplifying, 4 over x equals 1 minus this term here, 4 over 15. So x is 15 hours. Number 2, the time required for two examinees to solve the same problem differs by 2 minutes. Together, they can solve 32 problems in 1 hour. How long will it take for the slower problem solver to solve one problem? So we will call x minutes the time it will take the slower problem solver to solve one problem. So the rate of the slower problem solver would be one problem in x minutes. Then together, the two students, examinees, can solve 32 problems in 1 hour, and 1 hour is 60 minutes. So for the slower problem solver, one problem in x minutes times 60 minutes plus one problem. This is the faster problem solver examinee. So the time it will take to solve one problem is x minus 2, because the time required for two examiners to solve same problem differs by 2. So the time for the faster problem solver would be x minus 2. And times 60 minutes, so this is the number of problems solved by the faster problem solver examinee, and this is the number of problems solved by the slower problem solver examinee. So we equate it to 32 problems using your calculator there. X is equal to 5 minutes. Then problem 3, a painting job can be done by 72 men in 100 days. There were 80 men at the start of the project, but after 40 days, 30 of them had to be transferred to another project. If the contract time is only 80 days, how many men should be hired 20 days after the 30 men had been transferred to complete the job on time? So let's compute the equivalent of one complete job in Mondays. So it is 72 times 100, so 7,200 Mondays. So this is the actual situation. There were 80 men at the start of the project, but after 40 days, so meaning to say these 80 men uh, had worked for 40 days, so 80 times 40, 30 of them had to be transferred to another project. So there will be 80 minus 30 left. So if the contract time is only 80 days, how many men should be hired 20 days after the 30 men had been transferred to complete the job on time. So this remaining 50, 80 minus 30, also work for 20 days. So 80 minus 30 times 20. And after that, the contractor hired X men. So present or current strength of workers, 80 minus 30, then the additional, then times the remaining time would be 40 days plus 20 days is 60 days. Then since the contract time is 80 days, there will be 20 days left for this additional X-Men to work with the remaining manpower of 50 workers. So 50 plus X times 20, then we equate to one complete job. So solving for X, 7,200 minus 80 times 40 minus 50 times 20, then divided by 20 minus 50, we get X equals 100 men. For 30 laborers can complete the job in 60 days. The contractor hired 40 men at the start. However, after 15 days, 20 laborers quit and were not replaced. Find the total number of days it took to complete the job. Then number 2, if the contractor specified a penalty of 5,000 pesos per day for each day the completion is delayed, how much did the contractor pay for the penalty? If number 3, if the daily wage for each worker is 150 pesos, how much labor cost did the contractor pay? So for 4.1, one complete job corresponds to 30 laborers times 60. So that's why we equate it to this. So at the start, 40 men were hired. So these 40 men work for 15 days because it is stated there. After 15 days, 20 laborers quit. So there will be 40 minus 20. So 20 men left to complete the job. So 40 times 15, then plus quantity 40 minus 20 men left. If the total days it will take to complete the job is T, then since this 40 they already work for 15 days, then the remaining strength of 20 men will work for, this is the number of days these remaining men will work. So T minus 15, where T is the total number of days it will take to complete the job, then equals 30 times 60. Solving for T, T is 75 days. Then the penalty, since the actual number of days it took to complete the job is 75 days and the job should be finished in 60 days, so that means the construction of the project extends 75 minus 60, so 15 days. So the penalty therefore is 5,000 pesos per day times the delayed number of days, which is 15 days. So penalty is 75,000 pesos. Then if the daily wage for each worker is 150 pesos, how much labor cost did the contractor pay? So the labor cost is 150 pesos per man per day, so 150 pesos per Monday. Then there will be 1,800 Mondays or 30 men times 60 day Mondays. So that would be 270,000 pesos. Problem 5. Mary is 24 years old. Mary is twice as old as Anna was when Mary was as old as Anna is now. How old is Anna? So this problem on age could be easily represented by uh, presenting the solution in this manner. So we write the persons involved, Mary and Anna. Then the past age because it refers to past ages here, and the present age. So for the present age, Mary is 24 years old, so 24, and Anna, we do not know, call that A. It is from this second sentence, Mary is twice as old as Anna was, so that means Anna should be 12 years old because Mary is, so Mary equals, so 24 equals 2 times something, so that something should be 12. So 24 equals 2 times 12, so that's it. So Mary is twice as old as Anna was when Mary was as old as Anna is now. So the past age of Mary should be equal to Mary was. So it refers to Mary's past age was equals as old as Anna is now. Since Anna is 8 years old at present, then the past age of Mary in this X years ago must be equal to that of Anna. Since by principle, the difference in ages between two persons is constant at any time, so that means A minus 12 equals 24 minus A. So solving for A is 18 years old. Number 6, Bianca is twice as old as Peo, and Maggie is twice as old as Bianca. In 10 years, their combined ages will be 58. How old is Bianca now? So these are the three persons involved. Bianca, their present age. Bianca is stated that Bianca is twice as old as Peo. So that means, let's just call it B because we're asked to determine Bianca's present age. So B. Then Peo, therefore, from this relationship is B over 2. So Peo's age is half of Bianca's. Then Maggie is uh, twice as old as Bianca, so 2B. So for future ages, which is 10 years, in 10 years, Bianca will be B plus 10, Peo will be B over 2 plus 10, and Maggie will be 2B plus 10. So this sum of these ages 10 years from now would be 58. So equating B plus B over 2 plus 2B is 3.5B. 10 plus 10 plus 10 is 30 equals 58. Solving for B is 8 years old. 7. It is now between 9 and 10 o'clock. In 4 minutes, the hour hand of the clock will be directly opposite the position occupied by the minute hand 3 minutes ago. What time is it? So the suggestion is you draw a clock with initial reading 9 o'clock. So this is the hour hand, that's the minute hand. Then the hour hand is constrained to rotate within this space here, and the minute hand will be free anywhere. But because it is mentioned that in 4 minutes the hour hand of the clock will be directly opposite the position occupied by the minute hand 3 minutes ago, so more or less the position of the minute hand would be somewhere here. So that 3 minutes ago, so this would be the position of the minute hand 3 minutes ago, will be opposite to the position occupied by the hour hand in 4 minutes. So in 4 minutes, the hour hand and the minute hand, the hour hand in 4 minutes will be directly opposite the position of the minute hand 3 minutes ago. So the time would be this represented with this blue colored uh, hands of the clock. So from this position, from the first initial position of the minute hand to its final position, which is this blue, we will call that X. Then initial position of the hour hand to its final position, blue, that would be X over 12 because the equivalent number of minutes moved by the minute hand by the hour hand rather, is 1/12 that of the minute hand. Then it is mentioned here in 4 minutes, so this is now the position, the red one of the hour hand in 4 minutes from this position here after 9x o'clock. This would be 4/12 because this is the hour hand, 1/12 of 4 minutes. While from this position, we go back 3 minutes ago. So this is the position of the minute hand 3 minutes ago. And the figure is now complete. So when the hands of the clock are, the minute hand and the hour hand are opposite to each other or aligned, then the angular spacing is 180 degrees, and that corresponds to 30 minutes time. So this is from here up to there 30 minutes. So therefore our equation would be x, and we go back here minus 3, then we add 30 minutes, which is that. Then we go back minus 4/12 minus x/12. It terminates at 9, and 9 corresponds to 45 minutes. That's 45 minutes. 9 times 5, 45 minutes. So again, x minus 3, then plus 30 minus 4/12 minus x/12 equals 45. So 11/x12 equals 55/3. Solving for x is 20 minutes. Therefore, the time is represented by these blue hands, 9:20 o'clock. Then let's have this special problem on clock. This is the basic problem on clock. After how many minutes after 4 o'clock will the hands of the clock be A? So how many minutes after 4 o'clock will the hands of the clock be? A, perpendicular for the first time, B, together in the same directions, C, perpendicular for the second time, and D, form an angle of 150 degrees. So that is understood. First, form an angle of 150 degrees. So the principle, we draw a clock reading 4 o'clock. So this is 4 o'clock. Then the initial angle between the hands of the clock is more than 90, and take note that the minute hand turns faster than the hour hand. So the hour hand is constrained to move within this gap, within this space. So the minute hand would be will not yet overtake the hour hand, and the angle between them will be 90 degrees, or they are perpendicular to each other, this red here, and 90 degrees corresponds to 15 minutes. Take note of that. So from the initial position of the minute hand to its final position x, initial position of the hour hand pointing 4 o'clock to this final position x/12, and from the figure x, letter A rather, x, that one, then plus 15 minutes, this is now the end, then we go back x/12, it terminates at 4, and 4 is 4 times 5, or 20 minutes. That corresponds to 20 minutes. So we equate it to 20. Solving for x, because this is a basic problem, x is 5.454 minutes. So notice that the answer in minutes would be repeating non-terminating decimals because it is divided by 11. So again, the answers would be repeating non-terminating decimals, or it is a whole number. So that would be the guide, the technique when you solve a basic problem on clock like this. So for letter B, let's consider this clock here together in the same direction. So this would be the hour hand, and this should be the minute hand from this 4 o'clock reading. So initial position of Minitan to its final position x, initial position of Harhan to its final position x over 12. So from the figure x minus x over 12, it terminates again at 4, so equals 20. X minus x over 12 equals 20. Solving for x, x is 21.81 8181818. So it is again repeating non-terminating decimals. So take note of that. Then letter C, perpendicular for the first time. So perpendicular for the second time rather. So part A, the hands of the clock was perpendicular for the first time. So this would be the position of the hands of the clock when they are perpendicular for the second time. So the idea is, remember that the hour hand is constrained to move between two marks only. The hour hand, the minute hand will have a greater space for turning. So this would be the position of the minute hand, and they are now perpendicular. So from initial position of minute hand to its final position, call that x. Initial position of the hour hand to its final position, x over 12. So from the figure, x, because 90 degrees is 15 minutes, so x minus, this the end, minus 15, then minus x over 12, it terminates at 4 again, so equals 20 minutes. So x is 38.181818. So it is non-terminating repeating decimals, 38.182 minutes. Then finally, form an angle of form an angle of 150 degrees. Initially, the angle between the hour hand and the minute hand is 120 degrees. There are 4 marks, so 4 times 30, 120 degrees. So that means the angle between them will be 150 degrees when this would be the position of the minute hand, position of the hour hand. So remember that the hour hand is constrained to move in this portion only. So this should be the position of the minute hand. Initial position of minute hand to its final position, x, then 150 degrees corresponds to 25 minutes. 150 degrees divided by 30 degrees is 5. 5 times 5 minutes is 25 minutes. So x, then go back here, minus 25, then minus x over 12, it terminates at 4 again, equals 20. Solving for x, x is 49.090909. So repeating non-terminating decimals. So that's the idea. Problem 8. It is now past 9 o'clock. The vertical line through the center bisects the angle between the hands of the clock. So what time is it? So this is the situation. We draw a clock and reading initially 9 o'clock. So again, the hour hand is constrained to move between 9 to 10 only. So the minute hand should be in this position so that these two angles are equal. So this is the line through the center, and the hands of the clock will be bisected by that line. So that means these two angles are equal. So from the initial position of the minute hand to its final position, call that x. Initial position of the hour hand to its final position, x over 12. So take note that the time spacing between 9 and 12 is 15 minutes. So if this is x over 12, this is 15 minus x over 12. Since these two spacing or number of minutes are equal, then we equate 15 minus x over 12 to x. Solving for x, x is 13 minutes and rounded off to 51 seconds. So 13 point something minus 13, then that remaining decimal multiplied by 60, then that is 51 seconds. So that's why the time is 9 13:51 clock. Then problem 9, find x if 7 is the fourth proportional to 36, 28, and x. So since 7 is the fourth proportional, it is the last quantity to be written here. So 36 divided by 28, or 36 as to 28, equals x as to 7. By the way, x is called the third proportional to 36, 28, and 7. So solving for x, x is 9. 10. Chinese writer Sun Chupao put these words into the mouth of a woman washing dishes in the river. I don't know how many guests there were, but every two used a dish for rice between them. Every three a dish for broth, and every four a dish for meat. And there were 65 dishes in all. So how many guests were there? So since if we call G as the number of guests, then that number should be divisible by 2, by 3, and by 4. So that's the idea for the answer. So we know the number of dishes, 65. So the number of dishes for rice would be G over 2. The number of dishes for broth would be G over 3. And the number of dishes for meat would be G over 4. So G over 2 plus G over 3 plus G over 4 equals 65. Solving for G, G is 60. Problem 11. Uh, I abstract the problems so that we can solve this in a short while. Problem 11, three transformers are rated 5 kilovolts amperes, 10 kilovolts amperes, and 25 kilovolts amperes respectively. The total cost of the transformers is 15,000 pesos. If the cost of each transformer is proportional to its kVA rating multiplied by the factor 1.0, 0.8, and 0.6 respectively, find the cost of the 10 kVA rating transformers. So this is the equation, cost of the 5 kVA rating transformer plus cost of the 10 kVA rating transformer plus cost of the 25 kVA rating transformer is equal to 15,000 pesos. So this is the cost. It's stated here that the cost is proportional to its kVA rating. So we will call K as the constant of proportionality. So for the 5 kVA transformer, K times 5, then we multiply it further by this factor 1.0. For the 10 kVA rating, 10K, then factor 0.8. For the 25 kVA rating transformer, 25K, then factor 0.6. Equate to 15,000. Solving for K, K is 3,750 over 7. Therefore, the cost of the 10 kVA rating transformer is 10K times 0.8, or 8K. So 8 times 3,750 over 7, 4,286 pesos. 12, find the third proportional to 2 and 6. So we write it in this manner. 2 as to 6 equals 6 as to x, where 6 is the mean proportional between 2 and x at 2 and x. So this is rewritten as 2 over 6 equals 6 over x. Solving for x, x is 6 times 6 over 2, or 18. 13. The value of c varies directly with x and the square of y, and conversely with z. When x is 2, y is 1, and z is 4, c is 100. Find the value of c when x is 3, y is 2, and z is 5. So cost let's interpret this varies directly with x, so constant of proportionality x and the square of y, so times y square, and conversely with z divided by z. Solving for k, k is cz over x y square, then we equate it to the other conditions, maintaining that formula c sub 1 z1 x1 y1 squared. So this is the initial condition, this is the final condition. So find the value of c when x is 3, y is 2, z is 5. C is unknown, z is 5, x is 3, y is 2. So 2 squared equals initial condition c is 100. So c1 is 100, z1 is 4, x is 2, and y is 1. So 1 squared. Solving for cc is 480. Problem 14. The electrical resistance of a wire made of a certain material varies as its length and inversely as the square of the diameter. If a wire 100 meters long and 1.25 mm in diameter has a resistance of 30 ohms, find the length of the wire of the same material whose resistance and diameter are 25 ohms and 0.75 mm respectively. So first, establish the formula. Resistance is proportional to, so K, constant, to the length, and inversely as the square of the diameter. So that's the equation. Solving for k, k is r diameter square over L. Then we equate it to the same pattern of this equation or formula with subscript r1 d1 square over L1. So final, uh, find the length. So 25 ohms resistance, diameter 0.75 mm quantity square over length unknown. Then initial condition, we have 30 ohms, diameter 1.25, so 1.25 square, that's square, not big, all over length 100. Solving for L, L is 30 meters. 15. In a class of 40 students, 27 like calculus and 25 like chemistry. How many like calculus only? So we will call X as the number of students who like both calculus and chemistry. So therefore, 27 minus x, because 27 like calculus, 27 minus x are those number of students, are those students who like calculus only. Then this is 25 minus x, students who like chemistry only also. So adding these numbers, we equate it to 40 because the class has 40 students. So 27 minus x plus x plus x plus 25 minus x equals 40. Solving for x, x is 12. Therefore, 27 minus 12, those who like calculus only, 15. 16. A number of graduates from a certain university took the recent licensure exams in mathematics and design. Record shows that the probability of these graduates in passing mathematics is 4 over 7, and the probability of passing design is 6 over 7. If there were 9 of these graduates that passed both subjects and none of them failed in both subjects, how many graduates from the said university took the exams? And we will call that X. How many of these graduates passed mathematics subject only? How many of these graduates passed the design subject only? So these are the representation of sets uh, passing mathematics, then set of those who pass design subjects. Then, because there were 9 of the graduates who passed both math and design, so place it here. Since the total number of graduates taking the board that exam is X, then the probability of passing mathematics is 4 over X. Those who pass mathematics would be 4 over 7 times X, but those who pass mathematics only is 4 over 7 of X minus 9, where 9, this 9 also passed design. So this represents the passers of mathematics only. Likewise, for design, 6 over x times 6 over 7 times x, passers, expected passers of design, then minus 9 passers of design only. Then adding this, we equate it to the total number of graduates who took the licensure exam, which is x. So 4 over 7x minus 9 plus 9 plus 6 over 7x minus 9 equals x. Solving for x is 21. So that's the answer to number 1. How many of these graduates pass mathematics only? So let's evaluate this value. 4 over 7, 21 minus 9, that's 3. And those who pass design subject only is this 6 over 7 times 21 minus 9. So it is also 9. Problem 17, the sum of the digits of a three-digit number is 17. The units digit is twice the hundredths digit. When the order of the digits is reversed, the resulting integer will increase by 396. Find the original number. So first interpretation, sum of the digits, hundreds plus tens plus units digit is 17. Call that equation 1. In the second sentence, the units digit is twice the hundredths digit. So u equals 2 times h. Then in the third, when the order of the digits is reversed, the resulting integer will be increased by 396. So that means um, when the order of the digits is reversed, that resulting number would be greater than the original number by 396. So this is the new digit when the order of the digits is reversed, 100u plus 10t plus h, and this number is 396 greater than the original, and this is the original three-digit number, 100h plus 10t plus u. Cancel out 10t, simplifying, 100u minus u, 99u, h minus 100h negative 99h equals 396. Divide everything by 99, u minus h equals 4, replacing u by 2h, 2h minus h equals 4, so h is 4. H is 4. U is 2 times h, so 8. Then in equation 1, h is 4 plus t plus u 8 equals 17, t is 5. Therefore, the original number is 458. So that's it for that problem. 18. A piece of wire of length 72 cm is cut into two unequal parts. Each part is bent to form a square. It is found that the total area of the two squares is 194 square centimeters. Find the difference between the sides of the squares. So if we cut the wire 72 cm into two pieces, let's call the longer part as x. So the shorter would be 72 minus x. So since each part is bent to form a square, the dimension of the bigger square would be x over 4 divided by 4. So x over 4, x over 4. While the shorter side square is 72 minus x over 4, 72 minus x over 4. We then add the areas, equate it to 194. Area of the bigger part, x over 4 square, plus area of the smaller part, 72 minus x over 4 quantity square equals 194. Using your calculator, solving for x should be 52. The other value is 20, but be careful because x should be the longer, so 52. Then 72 minus x, 72 minus 52 is 20. Divided by 4, 52 over 4, so the dimension of the bigger square is 13 cm, while the dimension of the smaller square is 72 minus 20 over 4, or 20 over 4, 5 cm. Therefore, the difference in dimensions, I'll call that delta, is 13 minus 5, so 8 centimeters. Problem 19, a 3-person maintenance crew could clean a certain building in 4 hours, whereas a 4-person crew could do the job in 3 hours. If one worker of the 4-person crew is an hour late, how long did the job take? So for a 3-person crew, they can finish it in 4 hours. So meaning to say the rate of one person or one crew is 1 over 12. Take note that one job can be finished in 3 times 4 man hours. So for one person, the rate should be 1 over 12. The rate likewise for a 4-person crew, so 4 times 3, so 12 man hours also. That's why the rate of one crew is 1 over 12. So one complete job is also 3 times 4 or 4 times 3 or 12 man-hours. So therefore, first solution, so 1 over for the 4-person crew, 1 over 12, the rate per person, then working for T hours, the completion, then there are 3 persons from the 4-person crew who works for T hours. Then only one will work for T minus 1 because that crew was an hour late. So the working time of that crew is uh, T minus 1 only. Yeah, then times 1, only one person. So we equate it to one complete job. Solving, simplifying, we have T over 3 equals 13 over 12. Solving for T, T is 3.25 hours. Then for the second way, for the 3 persons of the 4-person crew, 3 persons working for T hours, so that's the number of man hours contributed by these 3 persons. Then for the 1 person working only for T minus 1 hour, then equals 1 complete job, which is 12 man hours. Solving for T, it's also 3.25 hours. Problem 20, a small business wants to construct a rectangular building with a perimeter of 300 meters and an area of 5,400 square meters. What are the dimensions of the building? So area, length times width equals 5,400. Perimeter, 2 times quantity, L plus width equals 300. So L plus W equals 150. Replacing L by, from this equation, 5,400 over W, then plus W equals 150. Using your calculator, instead of simplifying this and apply quadratic formula, W is 60 meters, then the length is 150 minus 60, so 90 meters. Problem 21, an elevated concrete tank is filled through its inlet pipe and then is emptied through its outlet pipe in a total time of 9 hours. If water enters through the inlet pipe and is simultaneously allowed to leave through the outlet pipe, the tank is filled in 20 hours. How long will it take to fill the tank if the outlet is closed? So take note that uh, the total time it will, if we call xi as the time for the inlet pipe to fill the tank alone as xi, and the time for the outlet pipe to drain the tank alone as xo, then from the first condition, xi plus xo equals 9. Then the rate of the inlet pipe to fill the tank is 1 over xi, reciprocal by principle, remember. The rate of the outlet pipe would be 1 over xo. So for the second condition, if water enters through the inlet pipe and is simultaneously allowed to leave through the outlet pipe, the tank is filled in 20 hours. So 1 over xi times 20 plus negative 1 over xo, because this is a drain pipe, outlet pipe, so it adds work, so its rate is treated negative. Working also for 20 hours equals 1 full tank. Substitute the value of xo, which is 9 minus xi, and using your calculator, solving for xi, it is equal to 4 hours. 22, a man and a boy can do in 15 days a piece of work which could be done by 7 men and 9 boys in 2 days. In how many days could one man finish the work? So the rate of the man would be the reciprocal 1 over m, working for 15 days. Rate of the boy would be the reciprocal also 1 over b, working for 15 days equals 1 complete job. In the second situation, 1 over 7 rate of the man, there were 7 of them working for 2 days, plus rate of the boy 1 over b, there are 9 boys working for 2 days, then the job is also completed. Simplifying this, 15 over m plus 15 over b is 1. Call that equation 1. This one, 14 over m plus 18 over b equals 1, equation 2. Solving equations 1 and 2 simultaneously using your calculator. So that means 1 over m is 1 over 20, so m is 20 days. Problem 23. At present, the sum of the parents' ages is twice the sum of the children's ages. 5 years ago, the sum of the parents' ages was 4 times the sum of the children's ages. 15 years from now, the sum of the parents' ages will be equal to the sum of the children's ages. How many children are there? So we will call n as the number of children. So parents' ages, there are 2 persons, 2 parents. So husband and wife, equals 2 times the sum of the children's ages. So 2c. C is the sum of the children's present ages. P is the sum of the parents' present ages. Then 5 years ago, so the sum of the ages of the parents 5 years ago would be P minus 2 times 5. We subtract 2 times 5 because there are 2 individuals for the parents side. So minus 2 times 5. So minus 5 for the husband, for example, minus 5 for the wife. Then equals, was means equals 4 times the sum of the children's ages. So the sum of the children's ages 5 years ago would be sum of present ages of the children, then minus 5 years times number of children. So each child should be subtracted by 5, the age. So that's why we have 5n. Simplifying, replacing p by 2c, 2c minus 10 equals 4c minus 20n. So that means 20n is 2c plus 10. Divide everything by 2. So 10n equals c plus 5. Call that equation 1. Then 15 years from now, the sum of the parents' ages will be equal to the sum of the children's ages. So present ages plus 2 times 15 equals children's present sum of present ages plus 15 times number of children. So replace P by 2C, and plus 30 equals C plus 15N. So 2C minus C is C, 15N minus 30, substitute in equation 1. So 10N equals C, and C is 15N minus 30, and plus 5. So 30 minus 5, 25, 15N minus 10N, 5N. Solving for n is 25 over 5, so n is 5. Problem 24, in 1930, the following question was proposed. A man's age at death was 1/29th of the year of his birth. How old was he in the year 1900s? So this question was proposed in 1930. So meaning to say the man died somewhere between 1900s and 1930. So we call X as the birth year, Y as the death year, and that is expected to be between 1900s and 1930. So therefore, death year minus birth year should be the age at death of the man. So y minus x is stated here 1/29th of the year of his birth. So y minus x is 1 over 29 of x. So solving for y is 30 over 29 of x. We then solve for x is 29y over 30. And let's find the year between 1900s and 1930 where it is divisible by 30 so that x will be a whole number. Of course, that's the idea. And year between 1900s and 1930, which is exactly divisible by 30, is 1920. So this is done by common sense and by trial and error, of course. So the idea is y should be divisible by 30. So that's why it is 1920. So solving for x, the birth year, 29 times 1920 over 30, it is 1856. Therefore, the age of the man in 1900 should be 1900s minus 1856, and that is 44 years old. So if the question is the age of the man when he died, then it is plus 20, so 64 years old. So here's the last problem. The sides of a triangle are in the continued ratio 3:5:7. Twice the longest side decreased by half the sum of the other two sides is 30 cm. Find the perimeter of the triangle. So the continued proportion can also be written in this manner. We introduce the constant of proportion k. So 3k as to 5k as to 7k. This is the shortest side and this is the longest side. So it is stated that twice the longest side decreased by half the sum of the other two sides is 30 cm. So 2 times longest side 7k minus 1/2 the sum of the other two sides 3k and 5k equals 30. 14k minus 4k is 10k equals 30, so k is 3. Therefore, the perimeter is 3k plus 5k plus 7k, that's 15k. So 15k, 15 times 3 is 45 cm. So that's it for this video. I hope that you were able to follow the solutions and the explanations.